This video tutorial will provide the understanding of how to print a tax return within the AccuTax software. Select and open the tax return that is being printed. Before printing a copy of the tax return, it is a good idea to verify the tax return to ensure that the tax return is free of errors. There are two ways to print a tax return: from the tax return menu bar and from the software menu bar. When you select Print from the software menu bar, the Print menu displays different options for printing a tax return. The Print menu gives the user the option to only print certain components of the tax return. Select Current Form Only to print only the form of the return that is currently opened on the screen, or Return Components to select certain forms in the return to be printed. There are other options to help the user select specific parts of the return to print, such as the final tax return, bank documents, acknowledge letter, and more. Select Preview Return to generate a PDF copy of the return. For this video tutorial, we will select the Print button from the tax return menu bar. Once the Print button is selected, different actions will be taken depending on what was selected in Print Options in the printer setup. If you have selected Batch Printing in the printer setup, the return will be queued for batch printing in the Work in Progress screen. If you have selected Transfer in the printer setup, the return will be queued for transfer in the Work in Progress screen and will not print. The return can be printed later from the transmitting computer. If you have selected Print Immediate in the printer setup, the Print Final Return menu will open. For an in-depth tutorial on configuring the printer settings, watch the printer setup video in the AccuTax University Library. Once the Print Final Return menu opens, if you selected a default printer during the installation of the software, the default printer will display in the print name. If it does not display, choose the printer you want to use from the drop-down menu. Select the Print button to print the tax return. If you choose to do a batch printing, select the Queue button and the return will be queued to print at a later time. When you are ready to print the queued return, navigate to the Work in Progress screen, and under the Printing Queue section, select the tax return link to print the queued return or returns. To select certain forms and schedules to print when printing the tax return, select the Filter button, and the Print Filter window will display. Check and uncheck the forms that you want to print. However, some forms may not be available to check or uncheck due to IRS regulations. Select the PDF button to create a PDF copy of the return, or the Email button to email a PDF copy of the return. Select the Preview button to preview how the return will look when it is printed, or Close to close the Print Final Return window. After watching this video, you should now understand how to print a tax return. Check out our many in-depth training video tutorials in the AccuTax University Library.